Okay, so in this video, we're going to be using decorators, which are really useful. So let's take a look at this. We'll have a function. Let's define it here so it's easier. We'll have a function that says bake cake. Inside bake cake, we're going to print the cake has been baked. So when we call the function bake cake, it's going to print the cake has been baked. Well, what about if we want to add a decorator and also add decorations to our cake? We're going to now define a decorator. So we'll say define icing, and to icing, we're going to pass function like so. And then we're going to define our wrapper. And inside wrapper, we're going to say print prepare icing. Then we're going to call our function. Then we're going to print apply icing. Okay. It will return our wrapper, and we'll add our wrapper to our function. And now it says prepare icing, the cake's been baked, apply icing. Great. Icing, by the way, is the sweet stuff on top of the cake that you usually get. The frosting is sometimes what people call it. Great, really easy. Some key characteristics of our decorator is we are passing the function to the decorator. This func refers to this. We're then defining the wrapper, and we're using func to reference this. And the order of how we do things is very important. So if we were to delete this, put this here, you can see that this order will change. Yeah, right, prepare icing, apply icing, and then the cake has been baked, which doesn't make sense from a cake making or cake baking point of view. Wonderful. Let's get rid of this. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to be looking at some new code. And the new code we're going to be looking at is going to be about new posts. So let me just take my worksheet right here. Okay, there we go. So we'll make a post that says define new post. And this is going to be equal to an input. So we'll say post is equal to input. What is your post? And then we'll do print posts. And right here, we'll call new post. So of course, you know that when we press play, we say, what is your post? Monkeys are cool. There we go. It prints monkeys are cool. Amazing. What about if we want to count the characters, which some social medias have a character counter. So what we need to do is define a decorator. We're going to pass the function to it. Inside of this, we are going to be then defining our wrapper. So we're going to define our wrapper. Now, when we define our wrapper, we need to make sure that the wrapper knows that we need to use information from another function, right? And yeah, we definitely need this. Without this, our code won't work. In fact, let's show you that our code doesn't work, right? Let's do that first. There we go. So we'll define the wrapper, and then we're going to say something like print counting characters, dot, 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 dot. Okay, and then we'll say here printing f-string length post. There we go. Now you'll notice that even when I say return a wrapper, and then I apply the wrapper here, which is going to be counter, there's an error. Post is not defined. Well, that's because we can't access this variable inside a different variable. But we can access it if we call the function using some arguments or some other parameters. So let's do that now so we can figure this out. So instead of print post, we're going to use return post. And this makes it so that other functions can then access this information. That's what that is doing. The next thing we're doing is we're going to be adding args and wards, which allows us to use information from other functions, which is what this also allows us. So this allows us to talk to other functions, and this allows this wrapper to hear other functions, right? That's kind of a good way to put it. Now we're also going to write something like this. We'll write maybe result is equal to the function args quads. So what is this doing? This is now saving the output of function, which is returning the post, into result. So then instead of using length post, we use length result. And what we want to do here is also return the result, so then we can use the result. Press play. Let's see what happens. What is your post? Monkeys are cool. You can see it now counts the characters 16. So that's everything for this lesson or this homework. It should be pretty easy because you did it last week too. If you have any issues, let me know. I'll be here to help you. Otherwise, I'll see you next week in the next video. Goodbye.